as many people as we are. Hello, folks. This is Dr. Youssef Benjamin, and again, I want to talk to you about the importance of wearing camo gear. Camo gear is the single most important invention for African Americans living in America. And all of the data suggests that when African Americans wear camo gear, they are 10 times less likely to encounter racist predators in a conflict, and they are 10 times less likely to be killed by the police. Now, there are reasons for this. Let me say that I believe, and many of my colleagues are in agreement, that Donald Trump is going to eventually become the king of America. And times are gonna get tough. We cannot fight a military fight. The only thing that we can do is blend in. That's our key to survival. Every animal in the wild knows that if it's not stronger than its enemy, it has to blend in. We've been fighting for 400, almost 500 years. It's time that we just blend in. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you about this camo gear business. Now, Dr. Rorschach, if you're familiar with Dr. Rorschach, he developed those ink blot tests you hear about that have different patterns on them and different colors. And he was studying the psychopathology of white males in order to ascertain a way that he could manipulate the visual acuity in their perception so that when they see certain color patterns, they would have feelings of joy and peace and happiness. That is why you see so many white males in the South sporting camo gear. The way that the camo gear is designed is specifically intended to conjure those type of feelings in a white male. Okay, and also Dr. Rorschach figured out a way to manipulate the visual senses so that when a racist predator looks at an African person of African descent wearing the camo, they will not be able to detect the complexion of his skin. They will see the camo first, and then the trigger will set in. And that's why it's critical that we get and wear the camo gear. This has been something, as I've said, as an anthropologist and sociologist and psychologist, I've been looking at for over 2 decades, folks. Many people have misunderstood aspects of history. When W.E.B. Du Bois, for instance, he was one of the most prolific writers in African American history. During the early 20th century, he was an expert and authority on racial conflict. Many folks have misunderstood when he said the problem of the 20th century is the problem of the color line. They supposed that he was talking about the conflict between white folks and black folks, where black privilege ended and white privilege began. But he was actually, when he said the problem of the 20th century is the problem of the color line, he was referring to the lines in the camo gear. Because W.E.B. Du Bois knew and understood that if we could get these line patterns to line up just right with the other colors, that we would have this thing down to a science, and we would be virtually invisible to our predators. And that is all we can do. We have to blend in, learn to be invisible in the presence of your predators. That's why this is so critical in the South. Uh, Another point of history I want to make is narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, where he refuses to divulge how he escaped from slavery. Because remember, he got caught the first time, but he was told by an abolitionist about Camo Gear. Folks, that's how he escaped. I'm here to tell you, no slave has ever escaped slavery in the South without Camo Gear, and they kept it a secret. And that is why, with the researchers that developed, did a lot of the early work, if you look at the etymology of the word colored, colored people, it's because they were doing work on with colors and trying to figure out how to manipulate these colors and patterns, just like Dr. Rorschach was doing. And so it's all tied in, folks. All of this stuff ties in. And one final point, as I stress this, I want you to think about and consider is how did Harriet Tubman go from the South to the North, back to the South, over and over again? Folks, I'm here to tell you, she did it using Camo Gear. When she encountered racist predators, they did not see the complexion of her. They saw the camo, folks. The best way to describe the feelings that come up for a white person who sees the patterns on the Camo Gear, and the reason you see so many of white folks wearing Camo Gear, it's sort of like an infant being nursed by its mother, and they're sucking on her breast, and they feel the warmth of her skin, and the cradling. They have feelings of peace and love and joy. Those are the feelings that come up for white males when they see these patterns in the Camo Gear. That's why so many of them in the South wear Camo Gear, and they don't know why, but we know why. And so when Harriet was dressed in the Camo Gear and she encountered racist predators, they saw the gear first. The patterns evoked certain triggers in their mind, and they were not able to see the complexion of her skin. Folks, it's critical. Go out. You can go in your local Walmart. You can go in various stores. Purchase Camo Gear. Wear Camo Gear. It may save your life and the lives of those you love. God bless you. I hope that you wear Camo Gear. Good luck.